What is back pain accounting, and how can it help you get back to moving the way that you love faster? That's what we're talking about today on the Retrain Back Pain podcast. I'm Dinneen, and I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the Retrain Back Pain podcast and subscribing on whichever platform that you like to listen to. Today we're talking about back pain accounting, and this is, you might be wondering, what does accounting have to do with back pain? And how is accounting going to help me get back to moving the way I love to move? And by the way, I hate accounting, so why would I want to do it? And really, back pain accounting is about creating a lifestyle accounting ledger. So doing some groundwork and reflecting on your life. And what happens is we create this lifestyle accounting ledger, and it will present you with tons of invaluable insights that will help you feel better faster. And I'm calling it back pain accounting, but really, if you've got a pain in your foot, or you've got carpal tunnel, or you're having mental health problems, or you're feeling stuck in your business, you can use this same accounting concept. It's applicable in many ways. So let's get into it. This type of mindful engagement activity, this reflection, mindfulness, feeling, consideration, this type of activity is often missing from traditional physical therapy. So I'm not saying that no physical therapists do this, but it's not part of the traditional physical therapy model to have patients reflect on their life and assess what's serving and what's not serving them. And very much like balancing your checkbook, but instead of focusing on money, we are focusing on your health. And we're looking at what is adding or subtracting from that health account. Because everything that you do, every single thing you do, even when you're scrolling through Instagram or reading the newspaper or picking up a phone call to somebody that calls you, every decision that you make on what you're doing, watching, listening, thinking about, activities you're engaging in, everything is either helping or hurting, nourishing or depleting you. So let's just back up a second and define what I mean by nourishing and depleting activities. And I think it's pretty obvious by the sounds of it, but I'm going to define it anyway, just so you've got some more. It'll help jigger the memory or give you some more ideas when we get to the activity part of this podcast. So you will need a notebook or somewhere to write something down by the end of the podcast. So nourishing activities are those activities that are going to help you heal. They will help you stabilize and strengthen. And in the context of back pain, they're going to help you maintain optimal spine hygiene, and they're going to support your body's ability to recover and heal. Depleting activities steal your energy, impede your healing. They kind of compromise your sanity, chip away at your body's immunity, and kind of make you feel like crap. They're stressors. They're what I call aggravants. Those are depleting activities. And I'm saying activities, but this can be people. This can be, a lack of boundaries in answering phone calls or saying yes to things that you don't want to say yes to, right? So I'm using activities as a catch-all phrase, but certainly I'd love for you to drill down on pretty much everything. I've determined in our current state of the world here in August of 2022 that I can't wake up and read the newspaper. It's just too depleting for me. So that's a habit in my own life that I'm trying to change. A couple of other examples of where you might want to look is, how long have you been sitting in that chair? Right? If you're at work or if you're sitting down listening to me, how long have you been sitting there? And is that time period a positive or a negative? How much water have you consumed today? Is that a positive amount of water or a negative amount of water? And have you exercised today? And here's the interesting thing, because just because you're exercising, that has the capacity to be a positive or negative, right? So exercising when you're hurt and feeling more hurt or doing more damage, that's a negative. Or exercising too much or in a way that isn't congruent with where you are in your rehab journey, that, you would think that exercising is a positive, but how you're exercising, how much you're exercising, the exercises that you're doing, those can actually tip you over into the negative, the depleting side of your health accounting ledger, right? So it's really being mindful and insightful and super aware of the balance in your body. Our goal is homeostasis. Our goal is coming to a place in our body and mind and energy where we can heal. And if you're constantly doing too much, constantly feeling stress, constantly overworking out, or choosing exercises that aren't specifically geared towards your rehab purposes and optimal spine hygiene, then chances are that you're not going to have a great result. Another example is, you might have a kick-ass gym practice, or you might be having some really good progress in your physical therapy sessions. But, that's 1 hour out of 24 in a day. If you're moving around mindlessly all day, every day, and you're taking your body for granted, chances are your back pain might be sticking around for a little longer than is really necessary, right? So we want to take out all the factors that are keeping you stuck and put in all the factors that are going to help you move better, faster. So the concept of back pain accounting works pretty simply. You want to do more of those things that are going to nourish you, and you want to engage in fewer of those things that deplete you. So, obviously I'm all about back pain all the time, but it's really a pretty solid manual for healthy living and for getting you back to moving the way you love to move as quickly as possible. So thanks for playing along. And here's the activity. And I gotta tell you, it doesn't work if you just think about it. I really want you to take out a piece of paper. And, if you're driving or walking or jogging or whatever, and you can't do that right now, come back to it. Super easy instructions. You're going to take a piece of paper, find a notebook, whatever, fold it in half lengthwise, right down the middle, and think about your daily life habits. And you can do this if you are not stationary at the moment. You can do the first half of this activity. You want to look at all the different aspects of your life, and you want to assess which of the things that you're doing, people, habits, activities, are helping you heal or stressing you out. Because if it's stressing you out, it is getting in the way of your recovery. And then when you're somewhere not moving around, you can take out a piece of paper, fold it in half lengthwise, and title your left column nourishing, title your right column depleting. And then in your nourishing column, you're going to jot down all the activities, hobbies, yes, people too, that you can think of that have a positive impact on your well-being, right? So that there's certain people that call you, and when you see their name come up on your phone, you're just kind of like, ugh, I don't want to do this right now. So don't. Do it at a time when you're in a better place, when it's more convenient and you have more emotional reserves to deal with difficult people. Or start to just put a few more boundaries on how available you are for the people in your life that ask a lot of you and take a lot of your energy. On the other hand, there are people that you know that they're just a joy to be around. They're light and positive and energetic, and they help you feel better. So you want to be hanging out with those people a little bit more. And then in your depleting column on the right, write down anything which isn't serving you. This might be things that need revamping, or things that you just need to let go of, things that need to go away. Because these are the things that are stressing you out, dragging you down, kind of draining the life out of you. You know, when you think about these things, when you hold these items in your heart, it's not really warm and fuzzy, right? It doesn't mean that you have to like cut off ties and stop doing things that are hard, but it's just good to do this exercise and to see where you're spending your time and how much of your time is being spent in the positive or in the negative, because this has a huge impact on the overall health of your nervous system and your mind space and your body's reserves to be able to heal and to, you know, kick your immune system in if you've got some inflammation happening with an injury, right? So it's really good to just sit and look at this list, because we often don't realize how things have affected us, or how things that we're doing all day, every day are affecting us. So once you do this accounting exercise, whether it's for back pain or some other part of your life, then you can cultivate more of those things that nourish you when you're feeling a little lousy, right? You know that taking a warm bath and having some ginger tea and picking up the phone and calling a particular friend, or even, you know, grabbing your cat and snuggling on the sofa for 5 minutes, right? These are things that nourish. So you want to identify those things that nourish. And you can kick those into high gear when you feel like you need a little extra TLC, right? And, you know, before I sign off, because I'm winding down here, I just want to say that this accounting exercise is actually what caused me to change careers when I was 29 years old, 28 years old. I can't remember how old I was. It was shortly after, it was the same week, I think, of September 11th. And it was very near to the time when my father had passed away. And I know I was approaching turning 30 around that time, probably the following year, or I had just turned 30, something like that. But it was my dad's death and 9/11 and, you know, changing a decade on the age calendar. And, you know, there was some quiet time after 9/11 when I wasn't going into the office that I worked in at the time. And I had these blue and pink postcards, index cards. And, you know, I was feeling a little restless. I was feeling very agitated by what happened on September 11th, living in New York City. And I'd been feeling a little discontent in my work life. At the time, I was an international institutional equity salesperson on Wall Street, and I'd been doing that work for almost 10 years. And it wasn't going so smoothly. So I did this exercise. I did this accounting exercise with my career. And what I did was I wrote down on the pink index cards all of my priorities in life, and I laid them out on the floor. And I had these really dark, beautiful, dark wooden floors at that apartment on the Upper West Side. And then on the light yellow note cards, I wrote down where I'm spending my time. And I put those on the floor in the order of what I was doing the most of and what was most important to me for the pink cards. And when I stood up and I looked down, I can actually remember this, like viscerally, I can relive this moment in my body. But I remember standing up and looking down at the floor And my jaw just dropped because where I was spending my time, they weren't even the same words. So the things that were important to me, they weren't even on my list of how I was spending my time. I was spending no time in my daily life doing the things that were important to me. And in that moment, I realized I've got to change everything because I know what's important to me, and I'm not spending my time in service of that. And that was a big tectonic shift for me. I left Wall Street soon thereafter and made a big career change to do more of the type of work that I'm doing now. So it's a great exercise. You can apply it to lots of different things. And I'd love to hear how you're getting along if you do the exercise, if you come up with any epiphanies, and let me know how it goes. I love this exercise, so I'm really excited for you to try it out. So I hope this was helpful for you. I really appreciate you tuning in. And as always, if you ever want to speak, send me an email. And if you want to hop on a quick Zoom call or a quick phone call, that can always be arranged via my Calendly calendar link. So I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Take care.